I always say, I always have this rebellion against lotioning my skin. Don't ask why. I just feel like it's maximum effort. But the winter is roughing up my skin. Oh my goodness. Crazed driver, what's going on? Kizzy Jr. Raymond, I think. I don't know if I'm saying that properly. What's up? What's going on? Uh, anyhow. So I decided to not embarrass myself in front of everyone and I came aisled up, as you can see. Greased up, shined up. um, how is everyone tonight? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Greetings, greetings, greetings. Thank you for joining me. Hopefully everyone can hear me okay. I always do a sound check, so just somebody please let me know if you can hear me okay. Greg 501, what's up? Good evening. Welcome, welcome, welcome. How is everybody? How's your week so far? For those of you who celebrated Thanksgiving last week, I hope Thanksgiving is good for everyone. TB3, how are you? Girl, I haven't seen you in such a long time. Where you been? Where you been? Where you been? Nice to see you. Welcome. So, tonight we're going to be covering 3 topics, as per usual. And of course, we're going to wait for some other people to join in. I don't even know what that means. Okay, the sound is good. Excellent. That's all I needed to know. Thank you. So we're covering 3 topics tonight. We are going to be talking about if you get into a new relationship, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever it is, and the sex is trash, do you stay? We're also going to be talking about, is there like an expiration time to be able to date your best friend's ex? And then we're also going to talk about why so many relationships in 2019 have fallen apart and failed. And I'm actually going to be joined by a special guest tonight to discuss the last 2 topics. I didn't announce it earlier, but you guys will get a heads up as things go on. The first topic, of course, I'm going to talk about a little bit by myself. I can't even see what people are writing. Loves Black Nick. Thanks. I don't know if that's English. I'm not sure what that means. I'm going to try not to be rude. Hi, Ricky. How are you? Mr. Gavin. Wagwan. It's nice to see you. So, just waiting for a couple more people to join in, and then we are going to get rolling with the discussion. But yeah, I hope everyone's well. I spent the majority of my day at the mechanic, so I just feel mentally drained. There was a bunch of things that I was supposed to do. I was supposed to go and pick up my ring of light, which I didn't do, that Nick from Erotic Boudoir had gifted me, and she and I talked about that. It's not the best, but I have light, so we're making do, and by the time I record next week, I will definitely have the ring of light. TB3, busy with work as usual. That's good. It's always good to stay busy. It's the holiday season. Girl, make your money. That is always by far more important. You know what I mean? What they say, catch a bag, build a bag, grab a bag, develop your bag, whatever it is that you're doing with your bag, be in your bag. Yeah, and that's the most important thing. So a couple more minutes. Usually until about 9:05. We're at 9:03. Oh, so really weird thing I wanted to tell everyone. Not that it's really here or there. Oh, JJ Titus, baby cakes. Hi. So happy to see you. Welcome. So normally, as everyone knows, I always have my eyes covered. And there's a friend of mine. I don't know if any of you, well, depending on how old you are, if you remember the Bugs Bunny cartoons with Wile E. Coyote. And there's a Wile E. Coyote cartoon where he's with the sheepdog. I don't know what their names are. Their names are like Bill and Ed or Bill and Fred or something like that. And the sheepdog is one of them and Wile E. Coyote is the other. And when the whistle blows and they start work, they're enemies. The whistle blows, they have lunch together, they're best friends. Mr. Wright, welcome, welcome. And then the whistle blows again, they go back to being enemies because Wile E. Coyote is trying to steal the sheep, and then the sheepdog is protecting the sheep. And then when the whistle blows, anyhow, so he said because my hair is always in my eyes, I remind him of the sheepdog because it looks like the sheepdog isn't paying attention or the sheepdog can't see anything because its eyes are always covered, but it sees everything, and that's me. So I have resolved in 2020 that I am going to try to show my eyes. a little bit more. So this today, this little bit of a side sweep so you can see one of my eyes. This is this is my effort at that. And so it's a really weird thing with me. It unnerves me, and I don't like showing my eyes because, you know, people always want to like look for something deeper or search for something, and it's really bizarre to me, and I just don't really dig it. But I like being able to see people because I'm a reader and I read people's energy and people's vibe and, you know, their words and all that kind of stuff. But I am going to make a concerned effort in 2020 to show my eyes a little bit more. Don, what is going on? Somebody had complimented and said something. You're a sexy motherfucker. Thank you. I appreciate that. Anyhow, so that's my one resolution for 2020. I know people don't really believe in making resolutions for 2020 or making resolutions on a whole, and neither do I. I think like whatever it is that you're going to set goals for yourself, set them broad, you know, give yourself time frames and that kind of thing. You shouldn't make it specifically year to year because you end up usually disappointing yourself. But that is one goal that I am definitely going to try to accomplish, and that is showing my eyes a little bit more. Anyhow, it's 9:06 and we are gonna get started. My name is Roy. Don't show your eyes. It keeps your personality a mystery. Okay, I appreciate that. Eye-to-eye contact is supposed to be a form of respect, but there are some people who get weird with eye contact. I honestly don't believe that there are some cultures where eye-to-eye contact is actually offensive. Like looking directly into someone's face, looking directly into their eyes is actually seen as a sign of disrespect because you're being very brash and you're being very bold, you know? And for me, I find that maybe it's because I don't show my eyes that often, but when I do, people like stare hard. And my thought is always like, what are you looking? There's nothing back there for you. Like, what are you looking for, you know? But, oh, you're saying that you can't hear me? Did the sound go out? Okay, I need someone to tell me if you can hear me. Can you hear me? Microphone check, 1, 2, what is this? The 5'6" assassin with the roughneck business. I don't know if y'all know, what is it? Tribe Called Quest, Fife Dog. Okay. Anyhow, I need someone to tell me if you, okay, TB3, you guys can hear me. Okay, perfect. Okay, excellent. I don't know why the sound went out, but I am back in full effect. So the first topic that we're going to talk about, sorry, I had to write these down because I generally forget. So you start dating someone, you're 6 months into the relationship, and S. Marie, what's going on? Welcome, welcome, welcome. I don't know what this gentleman is saying to me. Okay, great. So as long as everyone can hear me, we're fine. Okay, so the first topic is you start dating someone. It's in the first 3 to 6 months. You guys go to have sex, and you discover that the sex is trash. For all their talk, for all their boasting, for all they say that they're going to do and whatever else the case may be, you have sex with this person, and the sex ends up not being great. Maybe you have sex a couple of times, and the sex is really trash. Do you stay in that relationship? So this is my thing. Doobie the Prince, what's going on? Kiss of Pain 2525, hello, greetings, welcome, welcome. I feel like we live in a day and age where everyone is teachable, and there's so many tools out there to assist a person in improving their sex. Even as far as tightening your vagina, if that's your thing, or elongating your penis, you know, strengthening the dick. There are tools and apparatus and pills and video and all assortments and manners of things to help you be better, get better, do better when it comes to sex. Leaving a person because they don't automatically come equipped with those skills, it's absolutely crazy and it's an absolute bunch of bullshit, right? There's a learning curve with everybody's body, right? So for women, if you think like you're the greatest at sucking dick and you've never had a man that you haven't been able to make come, then all of a sudden you get into a new relationship and you suck your boyfriend's dick and he doesn't come, it doesn't mean that there's something wrong with him or there's something wrong with you. It simply means the techniques that you're used to using are not working for that particular individual, which means that you need to learn his body. You need to learn his spots, you need to learn his triggers, you need to learn what pleases him, what excites him, and what gets him to that point. I'd say to coach them, JJ Titus, I'd say to coach them and, yeah, teach them the things that you like in the bedroom. So part of the problem I find with people It's like there's this automatic assumption that everybody's supposed to come equipped with the skills that they need in order to fuck you properly, to eat your pussy properly, to suck your dick properly. And in reality, it just doesn't work that way. There's a learning curve with everybody, right? It's like if you've got a really big dick, you have to learn how to control the size of your dick so that you're not mashing up someone's cervix, you're not mashing up someone's vagina and sending them to the hospital, right? You have to learn to control yourself, just the same as with women. You know, if you learn to like, you know, your Kegel exercises, if you learn to do this with the inside of your pussy, like you learn, I call it quinting. It's a Jamaican thing. If you learn to quint with your pom pom, you can push your man to achieve a different type of orgasm than if you just kind of, if your pussy's just relaxed. You understand what I'm saying? Crazed driver, what if the sex turns trash after marriage? Jermaine, Maxie, maybe they're all a little scared. Regardless, right? Regardless if the sex turns trash after marriage, there's a conversation that needs to take place. And this is my thing. People are so scared of conversation. I just never understand why. In particular, when it comes to sex, people just don't want to talk about it. My thing is, if you can't talk to the person that you're fucking, what's the point, right? You have to be able to tell that person what you like, what you don't like. And it doesn't have to be in a harsh type of way where you're hurting their feelings or making them feel like the sex really is trash, even if the sex really is trash. There's a gentle way that you can have conversation with people to get what it is that you need from the individual, as opposed to just being like, you know what, fuck it, I'm just not going to fuck with this person. I'm going to cheat on them and I'm going to find somebody else to fuck while I'm staying with them. That's retarded and it's ass backwards. Teach them, help them help you. Because they may have, oops, sorry, y'all are just writing in so quickly. Oh my goodness, I got to scroll back. Sorry. Jermaine, Maxie, because they may have been after you for a long time, and as soon as they get you, they can't. Listen to me, fear is a motherfucker. Fear and self-doubt are motherfuckers. They're debilitating. You know what I mean? You're in your mind thinking like, okay, when I finally get to have sex with this person, I'm going to wow them. I'm going to do all these tricks. I'm going to flip and twist and bend and do all manners of things to, you know, twist up their head. And then you get to that moment and you totally fucking flake because you're so terrified that you're not going to fulfill the person's needs properly that you really and truly end up not fulfilling the person's needs properly because you're just stuck. People spend way too much time in their heads, and people don't spend enough time talking about the things that they like, you know? When you're married especially, who better than that person to explore with? Who better than that person to have those conversations with and try all kinds of shit to keep the spark in your relationship? JJ Titus, you love that person enough to marry them, so better figure it out. Come, girl, say that part again. You know what I mean? It's not okay, well, the sex isn't so great now, so I'm just going to bail. It doesn't work that way. You've made a lifelong commitment. And especially people who get married, it's not just about the words that you say. It's not just about the vows that you take. It's about true partnership. It's about building. It's about developing. And even if you aren't married and you've decided to commit to this relationship, at whatever point you're committing to the relationship, again, it's about partnership. It's about working together. It's about coming together with the skills that you have, teaching one another what the other person needs to know, and then figuring out the pieces in between together. You know what I mean? It's like people will have sex, but they won't talk about sex, which is, again, ass backwards. If you're not talking to the person that you're fucking, then who are you talking to? Mr. Cozy, what's going on? Nice to see you and glad that you stayed up. But it's true, you do. You end up psyching yourself out because you're staying in your head. Move that conversation out of your head and have the conversation with the person that you're sleeping with. Again, whether you're in a committed relationship, whether you're married, whether this is your boyfriend or whether this is your life partner, the conversations need to move from outside of your head into the real world, and you need to be talking to the person that you're with. We need to take the fear out of having sexualized conversations. It's like we'll sit down and watch porn all the live long day, but never talk to the person that we're with about the things that we see in porn that we'd like to try. And I'm not necessarily talking about like the extreme things like extreme throat fucking or, you know, bondage BDSM. It doesn't even have to be that extreme, but it could be like, okay, you guys are so used to doing missionary legs up and doggy style, and those are the two positions that you ever do. But you've been watching porn and you've seen, you know, one of the women getting fucked in the side scissor position, and you think to yourself, yeah, I'd really like to try that with my lady, but you never have the conversation with her for fear that, I don't know, she's going to chastise you for whatever the case may be, right? You need to move those conversations out of your head and be having those conversations in the real world with the person that you're sleeping with. Communication is key, not just communication, but comprehension. Because a lot of people talk for the sake of talking without making sure that the person on the receiving end is actually understanding what it is that they're saying. And then the person on the receiving end needs to give feedback to make sure that the information that they're receiving is received in the right way. And again, it's again, move the conversation out of your head and move it into the real world. Move the conversation into a real space where you're talking to the person that you're with. You know, saying that the sex is trash, excuse me, and deciding that you're going to leave the relationship, it's a shitty excuse. It's a cop out and it's a shitty excuse. You know, if you love that person and that's somebody that you actually want to be with, teach them. Teach them about your body. But this is the craziest thing. People don't even know their own bodies, much less to be teaching anybody else about their body. It's your fucking body. Explore your body. That way you know your spots. You know what I mean? You know the things that you like. You know that you like the throat grabbing. You know that you like the scratching, the kneading of the flesh and sorry, don't mind me. But you understand what I'm saying. Explore your body so that you know what it is that you like, so you can teach the other person what it is that you like. It's strange to me how much people don't know about their bodies, but they place this unrealistic expectation on their partner that their partner is supposed to just figure out all their spots. How is anybody going to know all the things that please you when you don't even know all the things that please you? Whew. Mr. Right, true. Many people don't know their own bodies. It's crazy. Like, it's going to be 2020. You know, we're in an age now where there's little to no shame about anything. You know, everything is there, accessible at our fingertips. Shit, if you don't know, you Google it and Google will tell you what it is that you don't know. You know, there are so many courses, there are so many books, there are so many papers, there's just so much information out there on sex and sexuality and pleasure. There are apps that you can use to answer questions if you're unsure and you feel uncomfortable talking to someone. You know, there are counselors that are available. There are people like myself that are, like, there are a plethora and a vast amount of resources available to people that weren't available 10, 15, 20 years ago. You know, you have them, access them, use them. Learn about your body, learn about the other person's body, share that information. Don't let the fact that the first couple of times you guys fuck that it's not good be the reason that you end the relationship or be the reason that you cheat in your relationship. That's lame and it's stupid. You know what I mean? You're in it for the long haul. You're supposed to make it work. It's a partnership. It's not just about, you know, okay, well, they come with what they come with and you come with what. Yes, there's that component of it as well. But once you guys get together, it's a partnership. You're supposed to be working like a well-oiled machine. And that can't happen if both people are not oiling the machine. And in order for the machine to be oiled by both sides, everybody has to give. Everybody has to contribute. It can't just be one person contributing. Like, one thing that I really hate, and again, might get into an argument about this, but I hate to hear women who say, oh, well, I just lay on my back and let him do all the work. What? I should be a man because, boy, that would be a problem for me. Like, that's just boring, boring, boring. Then you get upset when he doesn't want to have sex with you because you refuse to do anything different other than lay on your back and take dick. Like, get on top every now and again. You know what I mean? Switch it up. Instead of waiting for him to flip you into the back shot position, take control of the situation. You know what I mean? People stop making the effort once they get into a relationship because they just feel like, okay, well, I have the person now. Yes, I enjoy sex, but now it's become more like of a token type of thing where you're not really having sex for appreciation. Sex, intimacy is the single greatest connector of any relationship. When sex goes out the window, when intimacy goes out the window, your relationship is fucked. When people stop making that effort for that physical connection, your relationship is fucked. Not in a good way, you know? You have to continue to make the effort. The same things that you did when you were courting that person, the same things that you did when you were falling in love with that person, are the same things that you continue to do in your relationship until you are not physically able to do those things anymore. You can't just say, okay, well, now I'm married, now I'm in a relationship, I don't have to do these things. No, you do. You do. Oh, sorry, Mr. Wright, I'm going to scroll back up. Sex can be an interesting opportunity for people to learn and grow. You get ample practice, and you get ample practice at the same time. Why would anyone run from that? And especially if you love each other. Sadly, sadly, there are people who feel like sex is for procreative reasons, so just to make babies. Sex is enough if you give somebody, a fling up once a week. That should make them happy, keep their juices flowing, and keep them interested. And that's the extent of the obligation that they feel. Like, you have people who genuinely and sincerely think this. And the craziest thing is sometimes these people are the people who are most hypersexual when you're courting, because it's almost like a game that they play where they're gonna fuck you senseless and give you all the good dick and give you all the good pussy and kiss on you and be affectionate and rub you up and touch you and all these things until they get you in the mindset like, oh my God, I can't do without this person. You get into a long-term relationship, you get married, and then they're like, okay, well, I have you, so I don't need to do all that shit anymore. You're mine, so what am I working so hard for? I don't need to do that. And I've seen that so many times in relationships. It's crazy. I know at least three couples that are in that situation, that when they were courting, when they were dating, it was sex everywhere. It was sex all the time. It was lingerie and spontaneity. It was, we're leaving the club, grab me and kiss me on the sidewalk while people are walking. It was all of those things. And then once they got married, yeah, that stuff stopped. 88th Wonder, welcome. Good evening. Mr. Wright, yeah, I know. I can, off the top of my head, think of three specific couples where that is the current situation. It's like, okay, well, for the woman in one of them, if her husband wants to go more than one round, she's not doing it. She's giving him one good round of maybe 20 minutes, and then she goes to take a shower and puts on her pajamas, like, whatever it is, and then she's done. And she has told him, like, if you want more than one round, you're on your own. Like, you get one. And I was like, when he when he told me this, because I'm friends with the husband, when he told me this, I was like, what? What do you mean? She caps it? So you're and I shouldn't laugh. I really shouldn't laugh. But she caps it. She caps it. You know what's really funny? I'm just going to say this right now because I generally don't pay attention to these things. The people who come on my live that always talk about how big my breasts are always have some fucking name that I can't pronounce. Why do you have 20 initials that don't spell anything? Like, seriously? And you're acting like you've never seen big breasts before, sir. Come along someplace, please. Like, just exit quietly. And this is my thing, and I say this all the time, and I'm going to say it again. My breasts are here. They are part of my physical form. Them not gonna place. If you want to look. If you want to sit quietly somewhere and beat your dick while you're watching my breast bounce around in the screen, beg you please do that. Just don't talk to me about it. I don't care. I don't care. Don't let me get upset, please. Bree, Beanie, goody, good gal. Anyhow, so back to the conversation. So he's saying that his wife basically cut. And honestly, I don't think that she's cheating. She's just not. She's never been a sexual person. But I think what ended up happening is when we were all younger, when we were like in our 20s, right? She wanted so desperately to be married because all of her friends were getting married, And so she did this thing where she was just into him, like they were having sex everywhere. She was wearing the most amount of lingerie. She was cooking, like she was doing everything she knew to get this man because she wanted to be married to this man. And then after they got married, she became who she really and truly was. Oh my goodness me. Sorry, Mass Main. Yeah, sex should never be restricted, should be free, explore more with each other. I completely agree. That's the thing that I just don't understand, right? You get married and you think to yourself, the person that you're married to, the person that you're going to spend the rest of your life with, that should be the person that you do the most exploring with. That should be the person that, okay, the kids are gone to their grandparents for the weekend, other than their rooms, you're fucking on every surface in the house. Then you get the Lysol wipes, and of course you wipe down everything. But you understand what I say? That's where, you guys are taking a shower together. You're taking that long bath together. You're seeing her walk by and you're bending her over the kitchen table, or you see that he's sitting at the table trying to do his work and you go and straddle him and ride him for all you're worth. You understand what I'm saying? It's like, when you get married, that's the time. And believe me, I understand about having kids and how difficult it is, but you still have to make the effort because one, your kids are not around 24 hours a day. Two, your kids are not awake 24 hours a day. You have to fit it in where you can get it in. You remember when you guys were recording and you would go to family function and you'd sneak off to the bathroom and catch like a little 1-2 fuck in the bathroom quietly and then come back to the dinner table like nothing happened? Or, you know, you'd go to the bathroom and you'd message him and he'd be like, oh, I'm just going to go outside for a second and take a business call. And then he sneaks and ducks upstairs and you guys are in the walk-in closet, you know, bent over. That's what I'm saying. So you were able to figure out ways before to catch a little 1-2 here or there and keep it spontaneous and keep it exciting. Why is it that when you get married, that same level of interest still isn't there? All of a sudden you're more tired because you're married. All of a sudden you're more like it's, and I know because I've lived this, it's excuses. You make the effort, plain and simple. My dick grabbers, that's a good one. You like these? Anyhow. So the point is, at the end of it all, if you're with somebody that you love, whether it's your boyfriend, your girlfriend, excuse me, your husband, wife, long-term partner, make the effort. It's simple. If you feel like the sex is trash, make the effort. You know, talk to the person, take the conversations out of your head and have the conversations in real life and in real time, right? Thank you. These are my the holiday nails them. Anyhow, you know, have conversations with the person that you're fucking. Have conversations with the person that you're intimate with. It makes no sense to keep the conversations trapped in your head because nothing is accomplished, right? Explore. There are way too many resources available to you to not be having good sex. And instead of saying, okay, let me work with this person, this is somebody that I love, let me show them what I like, let me learn what they like, you're going to say, okay, well, the sex isn't that great, so I'm going to cheat on them. That's a bunch of bullshit. And you, if that's the mindset that you have, then you're the one who's trash. Cut that shit out. We're too grown for that. Mr. Wright, when I'm married, my wife is going to have to, okay, I don't want to know about that. Anyhow, so I am going to be joined by a special guest who's going to discuss the last two topics with me. And that gentleman is Don of a New Day, Don D Photos. He's an amazing photographer who is based in New York. He and I have worked together several times on some shoots, and his work is just absolutely beautiful. He's creative. He's a visionary. He's got such a wonderful artistic eye, and I'm waiting for him to request to join the chat so we can talk about if there's a statute of limitations on dating your best friend's ex. And we're also going to talk about why so many relationships have crumbled in 2019 and what we can do better, hopefully for 2020, to build more successful relationships. Mr. Wright, you're saying that statement was PG? Listen to me. I don't want to know, because you know what? When you get married, I'm going to remember that you said this shit. That's why I'm saying, like, I don't want to know. I don't want to know. Okay, so here we go. Mr. Don. Waiting for it to pick up, so. Woohoo! It's hot.
Hold on, you can hear me, right?
Yeah, now I feel my head's cut off. Hold on. Ugh.
How are you, Miss Jones?
Okay, there. Hi.
How you doing?
I'm awesome. How are you?
I'm good. I can't complain. I'm not used to doing these live things, but you know, it's for you, so of course.
This is good. This is good for bantering. So normally I feel like whenever I do the lives, I usually have another woman on with me, and I felt like it was really important to have a male perspective. And you were somebody that, outside of loving you because you're one of my, you know, dearest friends, I respect your opinion. Like, your perspective is just very, like, you're no nonsense. Like, you don't judge in favor of men, and you don't judge in favor of women. You judge in favor of what's right.
Of course. I mean, I try to be upright. You know, not expert, but you know, I will give you some of my opinions on things.
Okay, cool. So the first question I wanted to tackle, in light of this whole Omarion Lil Fizz situation, where everyone must know Omarion, or most people do. Anyways, they are part of a band, or they're part of a group where they've been together for years. There's 4 of them. Now, I don't know if Lil Fizz and Omarion are actually like related, or if they've just been friends.
No, they're not. They're not related.
They're not related. Okay. basically they're like brothers because they've grown up together. And so what's happened is Lil Fizz is now dating Omarion's baby mother. So his baby mother, the mother of his children, she has two kids for him.
Yeah, it was
And
good.
yeah, his friend or his former friend is now dating the child's mother. And there's this running joke on social media that he's like the most unbothered person on the planet because when people are asking him about it, or they're trying to like provoke him into some sort of a negative response, he's not biting for nothing. His responses are very professional. His responses are very strategic, and he doesn't give more of an answer than he needs to. But what he's done is he's fucked Little Fizz because now the group is going on tour
And he's
without.
not part of it.
So those kind of things. So
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you from a male perspective, is there an expiration or like a time limit on being able to date your best friend's ex, or is that just like off the table forever and ever?
Me personally, I'm a person who believes in loyalty and who believes in like, if that's my friend, if that's like my friends are like my family. So if you're in my inner circle, that's a no-go. I don't care how bad she is, forever, ever, 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 ever. That's a no-go. I would never in a million years sleep with my best friend's girl. I just wouldn't do it.
It's his ex girl.
Yeah, but they got kids together though. They got like,
They have two
you know,
kids.
yeah, that's a no for me. That's a definite like no. I would never do that. That's a little messed up. I mean, beyond a little messed up, that's very messed up. I mean, now if it's a friend who's outside of my inner circle,
Right.
you give it some time. Try to be a little respectful, but
Okay.
if
Okay.
it's
Hold on.
in my,
So
yeah,
you
go ahead.
said give it some time. How much time is give it some time?
Like, let my guy move on. Let my guy move to another chick, and then I'll possibly talk to her then.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm sorry. Like, because my thing is this, right now, don't get me wrong. In the past, have I talked to someone who I was associated with? Have I talked to their girl? Yes. At the same time, do I think I was right for doing that? No. When that person asked me I'm in New York, so he asked me for 5 minutes. Did I give him the 5 minutes? Yes, I did. I gave him the 5 minutes. And then after that, we were able to be cool with it. Yes, 5 minutes is a term like, yeah.
Yeah. Because I'm Jamaican Canadian, so I don't know what that 5 minutes means. Beg you, please explain that to me.
Oh, he asked for us to go in a room and have a conversation that had no
Okay.
words. That had no words.
Sorry.
So
No,
we
no,
we
hold on,
had a
hold on.
yeah.
Who asked for this conversation?
The gentleman, yes, my
And
friend.
there were
Yeah.
no words?
No. We fought. We had a little like we had 5 minutes, and after that we agreed that like we're all good after that. But
Oh,
yeah, no, I mean, and no, not to be gender specific, but us guys, we have that like where if
y'all
we
are
have like if we need to square up, then we're good. We can have a fight, and then afterwards be good.
Mr.
So
Kobe just said to me it's funny. Yeah, thanks. I got that now.
yeah.
I've never, like I said, there are certain things, you know what I mean, like American terms and Americans that I've just never heard before. So that's definitely a new one for me. Okay,
Well, I mean
so
that it's an old term too. It's not something that they use now on
it's not that
American
old
because,
because I'm old. It's not that old. Trust me.
but
Okay, wait. So going back. So what if 15 years have gone by?
okay, that's different.
No,
Like
you said that you said never ever, never ever, never ever. But
oh
I'm
no
saying
no, but I
you,
don't. Oh,
you
sorry,
no,
my
but
fault.
I'm saying okay, so you and the best friend, you guys are no longer friends. That it's dead. You guys have parted company. You're amicable when you see each other, but the relationship, the brotherhood that you had before, is dead. It's done, right? 10 years have gone by. The kids are now, 14 and 12. Can you date his ex now?
Well, I mean, but that's a different scenario. Like I think for every rule, there's a scenario that goes with that rule, right?
Okay.
If I'm no longer cool with you, And, you know, I end up meeting her again. We end up having a moment. We talk about us possibly having a relationship. You know, because there's kids involved, I have to have a conversation with you. But that's not going to stop me from dating that person. Now, but I also say that, like, if it's people who are in my inner circle, that would
Right.
never happen. Like, because even if we don't speak on a day-to-day basis, you're still like people to me, and I would never cross that line. You know?
Okay, hold on. So what if they're in your inner circle, they have completely moved on, and they don't have no emotional ties to the mother of their children? 10 years has passed, and she's expressed interest in you.
Then me personally, that's a conversation I would have with homie. Like, I'm gonna sit there and have a conversation with him and be like, look, you know, like, ask him how he would feel about that. Because I know me, if someone did that to me, like, I'm gonna need 5 minutes with you. I would need, like, we're gonna have, it's not gonna be a nice conversation.
It's going to be more than
Like,
five
it's a
minutes.
respect thing. Yeah, I'm gonna need 5, maybe even 10 minutes. But no, it's a respect thing. You should never be in a place where, you know, if it's someone who I consider to be a close friend, who I consider to be like family, even if we haven't spoken, because I have friends who've moved out of the state who I'd haven't, you know, talked to in a little bit of time. But if, you know, their wife came along and we decided to have conversations, that's going to be a conversation I have to have with him, just as a respect thing. Not asking permission, but just letting him know, like, look, like, I respect, I came to you, let you know this is what the movie is going to be. If you have an issue, then we can have, you know what I mean? We can have words about it. But the most important thing is having that communication. Because the last thing you want, and I've seen dudes do it, where they talk to someone's girl, and then, you know, bad things have happened behind that. You know,
Right.
like someone saw someone, and eventually things went left. But if it's someone who's in my inner circle, I wholeheartedly say no, we don't do that.
So it's interesting. I'm watching the thread of conversation as you're talking while I'm listening to you, and unequivocally, every male who has responded has said the same thing. Like, that's a no. That's
Yeah,
a
that's a no.
definitely. That's a
Because,
no.
like, all kidding aside, I've known, like, you know, people have gotten killed because of stuff like this.
Shut
Like,
up.
oh, I have a cousin who, she passed away because of a situation similar to that. So this is, yeah, like, you don't know how crazy, you don't know how someone's going to react to something. You know, you never know. And not to be so, be so dark and whatever, but
Right.
people die behind these situations. Like, guys will like a chick and not know how to let go, and vice versa. Girls
Okay.
will like a situation and not know how to let go, and then someone gets stabbed, someone gets shot, and
But
then, yeah.
that's the issue with it, because you are then putting that woman or that man, right, in a position of being property, and you don't own people. You have no rights to a person. I completely understand the level of respect where, you guys are 6 months, a year, 2, even 5 years out of a relationship, where it crosses a line of respectability to get involved. But after that and beyond that, that person, even after, like, as soon as it's done, that person is in control of themselves and in control of their lives. You're reducing that person, not you, but I'm saying we're reducing people to property, like cattle, to say that, well, that was mine, so you can't have it. Like, I licked it, so it's mine
Well,
forever. And I understand that from a personal perspective, that's just a choice. But don't you feel like you could be limiting love for yourself by categorizing that way and saying, okay, well, if that's the person that's in my inner circle, as much as, like, 5, 6 years have gone by, I haven't seen their ex for this entire time. I happen to buck them on the street. We exchange numbers just, because I consider her to be like a sister or whatever. We start talking and I'm starting to feel her, but I'm not going to do that because she used to be with so and so 6 years ago. You're limiting your love.
well,
Why
I
would
mean,
you?
also with situations, again, like, there's rules to situations, right? So if, for example, if my man dealt with a girl for 6 months and then he ended up not being with her anymore, that's a completely different scenario.
Right.
Because they weren't together for long enough for me to feel like whatever. But if you have kids with someone, you had multiple years with that person, it's not about, cutting off feelings and emotions and whatever. Because at the end of the day, if people are going to feel however they want to feel about somebody, right?
Right.
If I end up seeing a girl and I end up liking her, I end up rocking with her, I at least have to have that conversation with him because that's a respect thing for me.
Right.
But if it's, and my inner circle is small, like I'm talking, less than like 8 people are in my inner circle.
Right.
So if I consider them a brother, I would never cross that line just because it's a respect thing, not her being his property. You know what I mean? If I have a friend and she dates my friend, then that's cool. Like, it has nothing to do with me, right? But
It's just a personal choice for you.
it's a personal choice for me because I know where that can go.
Right.
I know where, like, I bet, I told you I got into a physical altercation with somebody who I considered to be very close to me because of that. He wasn't in the inner circle, but he was right there. He was on that precipice. And we had a little physical altercation, and we're good now, but we're not what we were. We used to be great. We're not good anymore behind that.
You would never,
So
it changes.
I would never do it. I wouldn't. Now, never should probably not be a word said because you never know. But for me personally, like, it would take a lot. Like, I would have to think she was the one. And even then, like, I can see, like, one of my best friends is Will, this kid Will. And I would never, Will's my brother. He could do no wrong in my eyes. I would never cross that line because I know that at the end of the day, it would hurt him. And as much as men don't like to talk about hurt, I would never hurt or disrespect one of my day ones. You just couldn't do that. That's like, I couldn't see me crossing that line ever. But I understand why people do it. I just couldn't be one of those people. I couldn't be.
Do you think that people who do it are wrong for doing it?
No, because, like, the heart wants what the heart wants. And that's why I had to pull it back and say never. Because if you see somebody and if you have that connection, there's that vibe there, shoot. And life is very short. You can't ever get time back. So I could see people taking that chance. And if you do, what I would say is, once you know it's going to be something real, you have pull dude to the side and have that conversation and offer him, like, that conversation. And if he wants it, offer him that 5. And if he wants that 5, have that conversation with him. But I'll tell you, look, I grew up with brothers, and we used to beat, each other with, in an inch of our lives sometimes, not literally, but, and then get over it.
Okay.
So sometimes you have to have those moments just to get that aggression out, and then, all right, bet, it's cool, and then keep it moving.
Okay, so playing devil's advocate, you have the conversation with one of your closest friends, and he says to you, although me and her are not together and we haven't been anything for 10 years, I'm not okay with you dating her. Do you say, okay, well, I'm not going to?
Well, it depends on who that person is. If, for argument's sake, let's say he's your best friend.
Yes.
Me personally, no, I would never do that. Because if someone's my best friend, their kids look at me in the sense of being like an uncle or a godfather to them.
Right.
So I would never cross that line. Or I would, I hate to say wait, because like I said, time, you can't get it back. But, like, that's a conversation you might have to table for a second and then come back to it. But me personally, my first response to that would be, bro, respect it. Didn't mean no disrespect. Keep it moving. There's a million people in the world out there. Like, his baby moms ain't the only person out there.
There aren't a million ones, and that person could be your one.
Yeah, but look, I go by. There's this movie called Bronx Tale, and I believe in the 3. I believe in the 3. Like, I believe in the 3. So because if that's the case, I've blown through all of mine already. Like, so,
You're on options. You're done. You better take the next one that comes.
oh yeah, no, I'd be a dub. That'd be a complete dub.
Nah.
But yeah.
Okay. Well, you know what? I mean, I respect your perspective. I don't know that I agree or disagree. That 5 minute fight thing is interesting, but that's just not even part of what we're really talking about. I just feel like in thinking of it from the perspective, okay, so I get what you're saying, like, and I entirely agree about the fact that, it's weird for kids to go from calling you Uncle Don to like, hey, my mom's boyfriend,
Yeah.
right? It makes things a little strange. It can definitely put a strain on your personal relationships with, the man that you were friends with, in the situation. But I just feel like, I don't know, there's this weird gray area where you could be missing out on potential great love. And I find sometimes that we sabotage ourselves for those reasons. So I don't know. I feel like when you jump in it too soon, like within, like, say 6 months to a year after they've broken up, as opposed to like 10 years down the line, I feel like 10 years down the line is a reasonable amount of time where it shouldn't matter to anybody one way or the other. The kids are old enough to know the difference between things. They know that you're not actually Uncle Don, but they call you Uncle Don out of respect. There's enough time that has passed between the two of them where they should be co-parenting at the very least, and hopefully a healthy and decent way. But there also should be enough time that's gone by where it shouldn't make a difference who she's dating, and it shouldn't make a difference who he's dating, because again, people are not property. But
No, no,
I don't
I hear you.
go ahead.
No, I hear you. Like a decade down the line, yes, feelings might change and so on and so forth. I can understand that. I'm saying just for me, just knowing the people I know, like who I consider to be close friends and stuff like that, I wouldn't cross the line. But I can understand if you know if I can see someone for some people even 5 years,
Right.
and a lot can change in 5 years.
Yes.
Your heart wants what the heart wants.
Mm.
I'm saying to people is you have to understand, like, there should be communication and there should be respect. And
Absolutely.
when you have those two things, if I sit there and I feel, for example, if I see a girl who used to date my best friend Will, they had a kid together, they're no longer together, and we have a connection and it hits, the first person I'm going to call is my man's and be like, yo, bro, this is what's going on. If you tell me to dub it, it's a dub. It's over.
Really?
But,
So let me ask you, why would you
yeah,
give him, like, okay, so they haven't seen each other, that they have a child together, and the only thing that they do is co-parent.
yeah.
Why would you give him the power to decide whether or not you go ahead with seeing her or not? Like, if you call him and say, out of respect, I wanted to let you know that I saw Samantha, and you know what I mean, I know you guys haven't been together for like 7, 10 years or whatever, and I would never do anything to disrespect you, but I really like her and I want to, get to know her, and I wanted to let you know that. As opposed to putting it to him as a statement, why would you give him the choice and ask him a question?
Two reasons. One, because it's a respect thing. Like I'm gonna have that communication with him.
Right.
And two, there's people who I've dated who, like, I'm no longer with, that if my mans came and said that they wanted to talk to, because of how I felt about the person, it's a no-go. It's a no-go,
Really?
bro. It's a no. It's
So
automatically,
you say
we're not
no.
gonna have
You
that
say you
conversation.
can't do
No, I'm like, I'll tell my boy, I'm like, nah, it's gonna mess with us. It's gonna mess with us. There's not all of them, but there's those one or two girls that you've dated, those women who, it's like, nah, bro,
that. Okay.
no, you cannot cross that
I,
line.
I need to understand why. If you're no longer in a relationship with this person, there's no possibility of you getting back together with this person. You're not in nothing with this person, especially if you don't have kids or nothing with this person. Why no? Like, what
Because
harm does
then that person comes back into, if it's a close friend of mine, that person then comes back into my situation. You get me?
okay,
Then
right,
on top of that, when I'm with somebody, like, I wouldn't say pillow talk, but there's things that you share with your person that you're with that you
right,
don't want the world to know.
right.
And some people feel as if, and I don't, because I think if I talk to you about something, that's between me and you
Yes,
forever. I don't believe in sharing that. There's stuff I know about some of my exes that would make them look crazy. I would never say it. As
totally.
much as money they owe me, as much headache they cause me, I would never cross that line.
Right.
Some people do not feel that way, and they will go and they will say certain things to certain people, and compare things and so on and so forth, and have you out here looking crazy.
Right.
That's the reason why for me. Because if I dated somebody, now if I dated someone for 6 months, bro, hey,
right.
yo, she's good at this thing. Go ahead.
That has passed. See, but when you explain it to me that way, that makes sense to me. And that's something that I could say, you know what? You're absolutely right. Because that's a perspective that I didn't have. Like, and just even thinking like, trusting that the person that you've disclosed whatever to is not going to say to your best friend, oh, did you know this about Don? Or did you know, or she might say it kind of casually thinking, whatever it is, you know what I mean? Like there's no control of what those conversations will be. You would have to trust that she's trustworthy enough to not say anything, but then you just never know with people. So from that perspective, yeah, I could understand.
Exactly. And you don't want to bring that person. Like, I have exes. This is girl Tiff. I'm not gonna say her last name, but this girl Tiff, who I dated probably 10 years ago, who meant so much to me that if my man dated her and try to bring her back into the circle because now she would be, that's a no. That's a, all right, bro. We can't be good no more. We can't be good. You now are on the outs looking in. You can't be a part of that no more. Or I need those 5. I need the 5. Now that situation, I probably need 10 and 15.
Hold on. So if he chooses the 5, does the 5 make everything better and then you're okay with the relationship?
I could be like, I've had those 5 minutes with people, and I could be good with the notion of like, all right, this means enough to him that he would have a 5. Like I can respect it after that. I won't be mad. Now, will he still be in the inner circle? Probably not. He'll be on the outside looking in. But I could be, I'm like, all right, yo, you must really care about her to then want to fight me.
To fight for her.
Yeah, I can respect it. I don't have to like it. There's a few things in life I don't have to like, but I can respect it. As long as I respect it.
Is it because the conflict of having her close to you again?
It's like I said, for information's sake, because there's some things that you wanted to keep, like, people not to, because I don't know every guy, but I know certain guys who will go and say, oh, was this better, this, that, this, and want to know all these other extra things that I don't understand why he would want to know it, but they're gonna ask.
Right.
And then bring her back in, because you don't know how, like, I haven't seen the person in 10 years. You don't know if my feelings are still there. You don't know. It convolutes everything, and it makes everything a little bit more messy than it needs to be.
Okay.
So, but no one is no one's property. People can do whatever they want to do. Just understand that there's consequences to actions, and you don't know how someone's going to respond to that. Like, who's going to respond to it? I think Charlamagne the God says it all the time, where you don't know how someone's going to respond to what you do. If they get mad and they want to fight you, they could get mad and want to kill you. But you do not know how someone's going to respond to those situations. That's not great. The world should be better than that. We should be more grown up than that. But that's how people are.
Yeah, we're animals. So I don't know. I feel like I just want to drill down a little bit more to understand this. So, what would then be the point of the fight to just kick him out of the group?
Well, I mean, it wouldn't be kicking people out the group. It would be, for example, like, I have people who I consider family. That's my inner circle. I consider people who are friends who are on the outside of that circle. And then there's associates who are like just people I know, who I say hi to, who I've known for years, but they're not in there.
So he'd get demoted.
You get demoted. You get like, okay, bro, like you were here. Now you're about there, bro. Now you're about there. You're not all the way down there, but you right here. Because, now, like, if you're willing to do that, what else are you willing to do? Loyalty means a lot to me. And, You know, the heart wants what the heart wants. I understand that, but loyalty means a lot. Because I've had people ask me not to do things, and I wouldn't do that because if they did it to me, I'm gonna lose my shit. I'm gonna go, yeah, it might be back.
How do you weigh the balance of it? Because I'm hearing you say that you understand that the heart wants what the heart wants, but then on the flip side of it, you're saying, well, then you can't, you shouldn't choose what the heart wants. You should choose loyalty to the brotherhood.
Well, because my thing is this: when I say the heart wants what the heart wants, people are the rule. People, there's rules, and then there's a saying: rules are meant to be broken. People will do whatever they want, and that's fine. But you have to understand the consequences that come of that. Everything in life has consequences. You do something, something's going to happen. You know,
Right.
that's science. That's like you do something, something's going to happen from it. Now, it could be we can have a heated argument and it'd be cool. It could be me going and trying to hurt you permanently. But everything has a reaction, and we don't know how people react to certain things. Now, my friends know how I react to certain things. So
That
it is what it is.
so
And
for me,
I'm different. Like, there's a lot of people who are very nonviolent and don't just get mad and talk behind people's backs. That's just not me. I'm sorry. Like,
no, it's just because I know you in a particular type of way, and because I know what your physical stature is, I can't imagine anybody anybody wanting to fight you because you're not a small person, like
well,
at
well,
all.
I've also been stabbed twice, broken jaw a few times. Yeah, there's things have gone left, but that's another story for another day. That's another story for another day.
Well, we're gonna run out of time. I don't know if you want to do like a second round or we just cap it, and then we can always do like another discussion another time because we didn't actually talk
I'm
about it.
willing.
Say again.
I'm. If you want to go again, I mean, if you want to bring this right back to 10, I'm.
Yeah, I was gonna say, think about how you just said that. If you want to go again, sorry, but anyhow, yeah, we'll let it. I didn't say what you said it. Those
I
were
know, but I
your
can say more.
words.
I'm not going to.
I would like a second round. Thank you. But
Okay, you get a third round. Anyway, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, what?
Nothing. We
Thank
can bring
No, no,
this.
no. Come with it. Talk the things
No,
down.
hey,
What do you say?
no, please. No, because I want to be one of those people, like you said earlier, who talk about stuff they do and then I do it. So whatever. I'm an old man, so I'm an
So
old
now
man.
they're telling me I'm nasty. Mr. Wright just said I'm nasty and everybody's laughing. What? Listen, I'm talking. The man said, if you'd like to go again, we can. So I said, yes, I would like a second round. Allow me, please. Thank you very kindly. You know, I'm Jamaican. We get a little dirty sometimes. Okay, so then the other. Hi, Don. So one of the reasons too why I want to come back and do another round because I want people to find out a little bit more about who you are and what you do and how they can get in contact with you because I believe in promoting businesses and promoting people's entrepreneurship and all that.
Yeah, D.O.N.D.
It's
photos. Yes.
backwards.
Yeah, I know. I know.
You got to hold it up or hold up a business card or something. So yeah, we'll talk and let it time out and then we'll come back and talk more about the statute of limitations on dating your best friend's ex, although I think that we pretty much just sort of hammered it away. Earlier, I was talking to someone who had commented that had he not, and I'm not going to call him out because I don't know that he wants me to say who he is, but the conversation that he and I had, very brief, but he basically said that, had he not looked at the ex of somebody that he was friends with, he wouldn't have met the love of his life. And he has been in this beautiful relationship with this woman for I'm not sure how many years. They have a child together. So I don't know what the dynamics of that situation were or how that played out. I didn't ask whether or not he's still friends with the individual, but he decided to go with, what the heart wants. And
But then there's consequences. Like, but that's the thing. You look, as a person, you can do whatever you want. If you want to go, you know, if you want to keep doing that and cross that line and so on and so forth, that's fine. As grown-ups, we all have to understand that there's consequences to actions.
right.
So, and you never know. His friend could have been like, "Know what? She might have been perfect for you, and keep it moving.
Right.
And then, but like me personally, I could.
You'd never
That'd
do
be a
it.
bad look. That'd be a bad look. But never say never, because if someone is amazing and you see that greatness,
Yeah.
you're gonna go with it.
Okay, so we're gonna time you in 5 seconds. I'm gonna shut off. I'm gonna log back in, and then if you can request